For over 40 years, there was this one guy, Jim Rohn, who helped millions of people completely rethink what was possible. His whole thing was this simple but really profound idea. You can build a successful life not by accident, but by a deliberate, intelligent design. So today, we're going to break down his powerful blueprint. And this was his wish for everyone he ever taught. It really just sums up what he was all about. That success comes from self-reliance, a true commitment to growth, and having the faith to go after your dreams. So this is the big question his work kind of forces you to ask yourself. Think about it. What if your life wasn't just something that happened to you, but something you actively created, piece by piece, just like an architect designing a masterpiece? Let's explore how that's even possible.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with Rohn's core philosophy. Then we'll break down the 4 essential pillars he taught: personal development, goal setting, daily discipline, and powerful communication. And then we'll wrap it all up and see how it all fits together.
All right, let's dig into the foundation. Rohn's whole message was super simple, really. Fulfilling lives aren't something you find, they're something you build. They're the result of a conscious, deliberate creation. In this quote, this just nails it. Most people are just surviving, right? Bouncing from one thing to the next, just reacting to whatever life throws at them. Ron's approach is completely different. You got to be the designer of your life, not just a passenger along for the ride.
Okay, so where do you even start with this whole design process? Well, for Rohn, it all starts with a foundation, and that foundation is you. The first pillar is all about personal development. It's about the person you need to become.
And Rohn said this was the toughest assignment of all. Look, it's easy to put in the hours at your job, right? But the real work, the stuff that actually changes your life, that happens when you turn that same energy inward and focus on your own growth.
And here is the big insight, the real aha moment. Your life on the outside is just a mirror of who you are on the inside. Your income, your relationships, your health, all of it is limited by your own personal development. So if you want to have more on the outside, you first have to become more on the inside. So Rohn breaks this down into 3 main parts. First, the spiritual, which is all about connecting with what makes you uniquely you. Second, the physical, treating your body like a temple, not a woodshed. And third, the mental, really stretching your mind, tackling those tough subjects and big ideas. All right, so you're working on becoming more. Now what? Well, now you've got to figure out where you're going. And that brings us to the second pillar, giving yourself a clear direction by consciously designing your future. See, for Rohn, goals weren't some chore you had to do. They were like a powerful magnet. A clear, inspiring picture of the future doesn't push you, it pulls you. It's what pulls you through the hard days, pulls you past all the noise and distraction, and pulls you right through your own self-doubt. Think about it like this. If you don't have that strong magnetic pull from the future, what happens? You get dragged backwards by your past, or yanked sideways by every little distraction. A life by design means you make sure the strongest force in your life is the future you're busy creating. Okay, but how do you make those goals powerful? Ron was a big fan of a clear framework. You've probably heard of SMART goals, and honestly, there's a reason they're so popular. Vague dreams are like weak magnets, but goals that are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-sensitive, now those have some serious pulling power. So, let's recap. You're working on yourself, you've got a clear destination, but a blueprint is totally useless if no one's building, right? So this third pillar is all about execution. It's where your design meets the daily grind. It's about taking deliberate action. This is probably one of Rohn's most famous lines, and man, is it a powerful gut check every single morning. Every day, you have a choice. It's that simple. Are you going to be in charge of your schedule, your priorities, your focus, or are you just going to let the world dictate them for you? So to really run your day, you have to get good at telling the difference between major time and minor time. Major time is when you're doing the high-value stuff that gets direct results. Minor time is all the prep work. And the rule is so simple. Don't spend your major time on minor stuff. And here are a few of his key disciplines to make that happen. Learning to say no so you can protect your focus. When you work, you work. When you play, you play. Don't mistake just being busy for actually achieving something. And my favorite, wherever you are, be there. Oh, and think on paper. It brings so much clarity. These aren't just tips, they're foundational. All right, and that brings us to our final pillar. Once you're becoming the person you need to be, you're aiming for your goals, and you're acting with real discipline, you got to be able to connect with other people to really bring your value out into the world.
And I want you to really notice the difference Ron makes here. Look, anyone can talk, but skillful communication, that's a whole different ballgame. That's the skill that lets you build relationships, inspire people to act, and, yeah, create miracles. You see, Rohn taught that amazing communication doesn't start when you open your mouth. It starts way before that, with preparation. It starts with being genuinely interested in people, being fascinated by how things work, developing the sensitivity to see things from their side, and of course, building a solid foundation of knowledge. Okay, so let's pull all these pieces together. Because this isn't just a random list of good ideas, right? It's a complete system for consciously creating the life that you actually want to live. So here it is, the whole process laid out in one simple flow. It all kicks off with who you become. That then dictates the aim you set for yourself. Your aim is what drives your daily action. And your actions, combined with your ability to connect, are what create your reality. See how each step builds on the last one? And this completely changes the definition of success. It's not about some finish line or a certain number in your bank account. No, success is the process. It's the constant day-by-day unfolding of your own unique design and having the courage to actually pull it off. And we're going to leave you with this final thought. Rohn's point is that time is going to pass anyway. That's a guarantee. You will arrive somewhere 10 years from now. The only real question you have to answer is, where are you going to end up? Will it be someplace you just drifted into by accident, or a destination you designed on purpose?